MCQ on GFR General Financial Rules 2017. Subject to any general or special orders issued by the government departments of the central government administrator and head of departments other than those in the shall submit to the audit officer and accounts officer concerned statements showing the remissions of reserve and abandonment of claims to revenue sanctions during the preceding year by competent authorities. Answer is Department of Post. Yes, Department of Post. Subject to any general or special orders issued by the government departments of the central government administrator and head of departments other than those in Department of Post shall submit to the audit officer and accounts officer concerned statements showing the remissions of revenue and abandonment of claim to revenue sanction during the preceding year by competent authorities. Now next, except Department of Post. Other than those in Department of Post. Next, whose shall was the realization of miscellaneous demands of government not following under the ordinary revenue administration, such as contributions from state government, local funds, contractors, and others towards establishment charges. Whose shall was the realization of miscellaneous demands of government not following under the ordinary revenue administration? Oh, account officers. Accounts officer. Yes, accounts officers. Now next. The detailed rules and procedure regarding the demand and recovery of rent of government buildings and lands are contained in departmental regulations of the department in charge of those buildings. Yes, the detailed rules and procedure regarding the demand and recovery of rent of government buildings and lands are contained in this one. So be answer. Yes, department regulations of the departments in charge of those buildings. When the maintenance of any rentable buildings is entrusted to a civil department other than the central public works department, who shall be responsible for the due recovery of the rent thereof? The administrator or the head of the department concerned. Yes, when the maintenance of any rentable building is entrusted to a civil department other than the central public works department, who shall be responsible for the due recovery of the rent thereof? Yes, the administrator or the head of the department concerned. Next, subject to any general or special orders issued by a department of the central government, the administrator or a head of the department responsible for the collection of revenue shall keep. Yes, Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance. Yes, the fully inform of the process of collections of revenue under his control and of all important variations in such collections as compared with the budget estimates. Subject to any general or special orders issued by a department of the central government, an administrator or a head of the department responsible for the collections of revenue shall keep Ministry of Finance the fully informed of the process of collection of revenue under his control and of all important variations in such collections as compared with the budget estimates. Ministry of Finance. Next, The head of account. The head of account of whose public monies shall be credited, and the withdrawal of monies therefrom shall be governed by the relevant provisions of, yes, this one, G, GAR 1990, Government Accounting Rules 1990, and Receipt and Payment Rules 1983, or such other general or special order as may be issued in this behalf. Correct. All money is received by or deposited with the Supreme Court of India or with any other court other than a high court within a union territory shall be paid into. All money received or deposited with the Supreme Court of India or with any other court other than the high court within a union territory shall be paid into public account. Yes, public money, public account. Under Article 284 of the Constitution, all money received by or deposited with any other employed in connection with the affairs of the Union in his capacity, such as other than revenue or public monies raised or received by government, shall be paid into the, this one also public account. 284 rule. Deposited office, any officer, employee, this is the public person, public account. Public account. 9. All monies received by or on behalf of the government shall be brought into government account in accordance with such general or special rules as may be issued under Article, this one, 150 and 283 1 of the Constitution. Sure. 150 and 283 1 of the Constitution, Indian Constitution. All money received by or on behalf of the government, either as dues of government or for deposit, remittance, or otherwise, shall be brought into government account without delay. Without delay. Pick the correct ones, copies of all sanctions or orders other than the following types should be endorsed to the audit officer. Sanction relating to grant, to advance to central government employees. Sanction relating to appointment or promotion or transfer to gazette officer, non-gazette officer, no. All sanctions relating to creation or continuation of evolution of post, no. Sanction for handling over, no. So pick the correct ones. Copies all sanction or order other than the following types of to be endorsed to the audit officer. Pick the correct. All the wrong. So this one, all of the above is not need to send to the, not need to endorse to the audit officer. An order which involves any grant of land or assignment of revenue or occasions grant, lease or license of mineral or forest rights or rights to water, power of any easement or privilege of such concessions or relinquishment of revenue in any way shall not be issued by a subordinate authority without previous sanction of any order involve any grant or land assignment of revenue. So this one, Ministry of Finance. Without Ministry of Finance, yes, Ministry of Finance. An order who is involved any grant of land or assignment of revenue or concession grant, lease or license of mineral or forest right or right to water, power, or any easement or privilege of such concessions or relinquishment of revenue in any way shall not be issued by a subordinate authority without provision sanction of Ministry of Finance. The duties and responsibilities of a controlling officer in respect of funds placed at his disposal are to ensure except that the expenditure is not incurred in public interest. Yes, this one. The duties and responsibilities of a controlling officer in respect of funds placed at his disposal are to ensure except this one, that the expenditure is not incurred in public interest. The financial powers of the government which have not been delegated to the subordinate authorities shall be based in finance ministry of finance ministry. Yes, finance ministry. The financial power of the government which have not been delegated to a subordinate authority shall be based in finance ministry. Standard of financial property have been referred to in the GFR under Rule 21. Sure. Yes, 21. Standards of financial property have been referred to in the GFR Rule 21. Who may make rules defining remissions and amendment of revenue for the purpose of Rule 19 or GFR 2017? Yes. Who may make rules defining remissions and abandonment of revenue or revenue for the purpose of Rules 19 of GFR 2017? Departments of the central government and administrative concern. Sure. Yes. In the annual statement of remissions of revenue shall be submitted to the audit officer and the accounts officer. Individual remissions need not be included in the statements provided that amount is this one below rupees 1000. In the annual statement of remissions of revenue shall be submitted to the audit officer and accounts officer. Individual remissions need not be included in the statements provided that amount is below rupees 1000. Below rupees 1000. The above mentioned statement of remissions of revenue shall be submitted to the audit officer and accounts officer concerned to this one hope. 1st June, oh June, 1st June. The above mentioned statement of remissions of revenue. The annual statement of revenue shall be submitted to officer. The above mentioned statement of remissions of revenue shall be submitted to audit officer and account officer concerned on 1st June. Yes, 1st June. 1st June. The above mentioned statement shall be submitted annually. The annual statement, yes, annually. The above statement mentioned statement shall be submitted annually. Yes, annually. The above mentioned statement shall be submitted annually. Distinction of any phrase. Distinction of any phrase. Distinction of any phrase shall unless it is specially renewed lapse if no payment in whole or in part has been made during a period of 12 months from the date of issue of such sanction. 3 months. 12 months. 12 months from the date of such sanctions. 12 months. A sanction for any phrase shall unless it is specifically renewed lapse if no payment in whole or in part has been made during a period of 12 months from the date of issue of such sanction. Next. Losses not due to depreciation shall be grouped under the following head. Losses not due to depreciation shall be grouped under the following heads. Anticipated loss on account of obsolescence of stores or of parts in excess of requirement. 1, 2. Losses due to damage. Losses not due to depreciation shall be grouped under the following. All of the above, sure. All of the above, yes. Losses due to theft or fraud. Losses not due to depreciation, yes. Anticipated loss. Losses due to neglect. Losses due to damage. Losses not due to depreciation shall be grouped, yes. All of the above. Losses due to depreciation shall be analyzed and recorded under following heads except power to write off losses are available under losses due to depreciation shall be analyzed and recorded under following head except losses due to extraordinary. Yes, losses due to extraordinary situation are under force majeure conditions like fire, flood, enemy, action, etc. Force majeure. Power to write off losses are available under GFR. Delegation of financial power rule. No, GFR. Delegation of financial power rules. Power to write off of losses are available under DFPRT. Delegation of financial power rules. A sale account should be prepared for goods disposed in of in form GFR 11 duly signed by the head of department, account officer, office who supervise the sale or auction. A sale account should be prepared for goods disposed in a form GFR 11 duly signed by the officer who supervise the sale or auction. Yes, officer who supervise the sale or auction. If a ministry or department is unable to sell any surplus or obsolete or unserviceable item in spite if its attempts through advertised tender or auction, it may dispose of any same at its scrap value with the approval of the competent authority in consultation with Finance Division. Finance Division, yes, Finance Division. If a ministry or department is unable to sell any surplus or obsolete or unserviceable item in spite of its attempts through advertised tender or auction, it may dispose of the same at its scrap value with the approval of the competent authority in consultation with Finance Department. Answer is Finance Department. 26 number. If a bid is accepted during the process of auctioning, the disposal earnest money should immediately be taken on the spot from the successful bidders. The amount of the earnest money should be less than 25, not less than 25%. Yes, not less than 25%. Pick the correct one. Oh my god. Surplus or absolute or unsurplus goods of assets residual value above rupees 2 lakh should be disposed of by either obtaining a bid through advertised tender or public auction. The surplus or absolute unserviceable goods with residual value less than 2 lakh. The mode of disposal will be determined by the competent authority. Certain surplus or absolute of unserviceable goods such as expired medicines, food grains, aluminum, etc., ammunition, etc., which are hazardous or unfit for human consumption, should be disposed or destroyed immediately by adopting a suitable mode so as to avoid any hazard and or environmental pollution, and also the possibility of misuse of such goods. Surplus or obsolete or unserviceable goods requirement and document which involve security concern. Example: currency, negotiable instrument, receipt book, stamp, secure price, etc., should be disposed of, destroyed in a appropriate manner to ensure a compliance with a rule relating to office. Pick the correct one. All of the above. Correct. Sure. All of the above. This is correct. A report of stores for disposal shall be prepared in form. A report of stores for disposal shall be prepared in form 11. 10. A report of stores for disposal shall be prepared in form GFR 10. A material shall generally be considered surplus of it remains in stock for over shall generally be considered surplus if it is remains in stock for over a year. Yes, a year, over a year, unless adequate reason to treat it over otherwise exists. A material shall generally be considered surplus if it remains in stock for over a year, unless adequate reasons to treat it otherwise exist. A physical verification of all the consumable goods and materials should be undertaken at least once in a year. A physical verification of all consumable goods and materials should be undertaken at least once in a year. Fixed assets should be verified at least once in a year. Once in a year. Calculations of the SARS to be removed from the local bodies, contractors, and others for hiring out and fixed assets should be based on the calculation of the SARS to be recovered from the local bodies, contractors, and others for hiring out the fixed assets should be based on the issue rate, schedule of rate, market rate, historical cost, market rate, historical cost. Yes, historical cost. Calculation of the SARS to be recovered from the local bodies, contractors, and others for hiring out the fixed assets should be based on the historical costs. Pick the incorrect matches. Library book 024. Correct. Asset of historical artistic value held by museum, government. No. Library book, this is correct. No. Pick the incorrect message. Oh, this is incorrect. Library book actually 18. Library book GFR 18 hope. Pick the incorrect message. Library book, this is not mess. Who should certify that he has actually received the material and record it in the appropriate stock register. The officer inserts of stores, sure. The officer inserts of stores. A loss of immovable property such as buildings, communications, or other works causes by fire, flood, cyclone, earthquake, or any other manual causes shall be reported at once by the subordinate authority concerned to government through the usual channel. Increased losses exceeds losses of immovable property such as buildings, communications, or other works caused by fire, flood, cyclone, earthquake, or any other natural causes shall be reported at once by the subordinate authority. This one sure. 50,000, yes, 50,000. Above more than 50,000. Causes involving material loss or destruction of government property as a result of fire, theft, this also. Extras shall be invariably be reported to the police for investigation as early as possible where value or loss exceeds 50,000. In cases involving loss of government money arising from erroneous or irregular issue of sack or irregular accounting of receipt will be reported to the audit officer. Controller and general accounts. Controller and general accounts. Controller and general accounts. All cases involving loss of government money arising from erroneous or irregular issue of checks or irregular accounting of receipt will be reported to the controller accounts of the controller general of accounts. If any recoveries are made from the uh, erring government officials in cash, the receipt will be credited to the debt borne sustain the loss. That is, if any recoveries are made from the erring government official in cash, the receipt will be credited to the debt borne. The receipt will be credited to the debt borne and sustain the losses central government department or state government concerned with the transaction. Yes, sure. The central government or state government concerned with the transaction. In cases of loss to government on account of culpability of government servant, the loss would be borne by the central government department or state government concerned with the transaction. Sure. Central government department or state government concerned with the transaction. Next, the reports on losses with the head of department cannot finally dispose of under the delegated power shall be submitted to chief accounting authority of the concerned ministry or department. The report on losses which the head of department cannot finally dispose of under the delegated power shall be submitted to chief finance ministry. The finance ministry submitted to finance ministry submitted to the finance ministry. Report of losses. Report of losses shall be made at two stages. Report of losses shall be made at two stages. Next, cases involving serious irregularities shall not be brought to the notice of cases involving serious irregularities shall not be brought to the notice of accounts officer, audit officer concerned. Yes, sure. The accounts officer, audit officer concerned. PT losses are losses not exceeding need not be reported in terms of GFR 2017. PT losses are losses not exceeding 25,000. 25 10,000. PT losses are losses not exceeding need not be reported in term of GFR 2017 10,000. The remission of disallowances by audit and writing uh, of overpayments made to government servants by competent authorities shall be in accordance with the provisions of the delegation of financial power rules. The remissions of allowances by audit and writing of overpayments made to government servant by competent authorities shall be in accordance with the provisions of the DFPRT, Delegation of Financial Power Rules. Picked incorrect. One regarding submission of any files categorized as secret or top secret to the audit officer. So I hope this one it should personally be given to the it should not be submitted to audit officer. No, it should be submitted as usual. It should be submitted to audit in presence of HUD. No, picked incorrect. It should be personally be given to the head of the audit office, especially a dispatch who will then deal with in accordance with the standing instruction for handling and custody of such certificate classification documents. Pick the incorrect one regarding submission of any files categorized as secret or top secret. This one. It should personally be this is incorrect. Submitted to audit without prior concurrence of the government. It should be submitted as usual. It should be submitted to audit in the presence of HUD. Yes. It should be personally. No, it should not personally. It is not submitted. This is the incorrect. Complete, guys. Thank you.